You know, you can hear a pin drop now, can't you? Good evening, friends! Good evening and welcome to Littleport Village Hall this fine, very warm and sunny Thursday night. It makes a change to be able to say that. And bright too, as we join together, Littleport Christian Spiritualists, to have an evening of upliftment, spirituality, keeping Rusty away, laughter, love, healing, and spirituality. It's all right. I could still hear it. Just made it obvious who it was then, didn't it? But welcome one and all, and thank you for coming out on this wonderful Thursday, because it gives me a truly great pleasure to welcome a very wonderful exponent of this way of life for you tonight as our visiting medium, a very good friend of ours. So please welcome Chris Jacobs. It's funny the way this way of life works, because you think you get to know people, and you think you get to know about them when they come and serve your church, and then you end up working in another little venture with one of their friends, and you get to hear even more, because the Monday show that we do on SPTV, my co-host Karen is a mutual friend. So Karen, if you're watching, you can report back to me on Monday. But no, seriously, do send your love and thoughts out to Chris throughout this evening, and send him all the love in the world as we send our thoughts out to the world of spirit, to let them know that we are ready to get inspiration, healing, and upliftment through proof of the continuity of life. And so with that in mind, let's join together and open this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, divine, universal source of all creation, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to gather under a banner of love and hope and upliftment, to unite the two worlds and to prove that life is indeed eternal. As we place this service in your care and keeping, we do as ever make that statement that everything we do is in love, in truth, and certainly in light. Amen. Well, friends, of course, now is the time in our service when I let you know what's going on, because it's that part of the month where we've got stuff happening. On Sunday, we have our monthly workshop. It is from 10:30 until 3:30 in that room. We're moving, you know, just to make sure everyone stays warm now that it's the summer. We're moving where there is heating. But no, we'll be meeting for all the workshops from now on in that front room there. And that's, as I said, from 10:30 until 3:30. It is £15. It still includes lunch, because there's a little cooker in there, so I can get away with heating more stuff up. But this month's workshop is called Working with Energy. So I'm sure they will tell me what we're doing by the time we reach Sunday. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing everybody who can make it come and support that. The following week, in the same room from 10 until 1, will be the White Feather Drum Healing Group. And I'm getting a look of approval from Eunice, because for the first time in history, I actually got the time right. Hey! So the White Feather Shamanic Drum Healing Group will be meeting same room the following week. And as I said, that's from 10 until 1. There will be a period of gathering, drumming over each other by method of healing. And then there will be a discussion after, and demonstration and practice on using runes as a divination method. I did have words with Eunice, because they've got some right div doing the demonstration of runes this month. Normally they have very, highbrow guests to demonstrate stuff, but you're lumbered with me this month. So I look forward to seeing everybody who comes there as well. And next week's medium is Michael Gooch. He's been here once before. We think we might be related, but that's by the by. Wrong side of the family, don't panic. But we do very much look forward to Michael coming back. He is very uplifting, very evidential and worth watching. So do come along and support that. As for tonight, we've got philosophy, we've got readings, we've got healing, and of course, handing over the service to Chris. And I don't really want to take up too much time with the philosophy tonight, because I know, as I frequently do, that Chris will have something to share. But I do have something to share. Because as we all know, Nick's a bit of a sci-fi geek. And there was something on Star Trek Discovery this morning that really did remind me of something, because Bemet, or Ames, depending on what your dialect is, they say that in Hebrew, if someone sneezes while someone's talking, it means God agrees with them. So thank you for sneezing. I need all the confirmation I can get sometimes. But they were talking about a relative who was now in the spirit world, who collected religious icons, not just from their own way of life, but from many. She collected from Catholicism, Buddhism, and many others. And they said, well, why did she do that? And he said, it reminded her that we can never know all the answers, but that we should keep trying looking. And it reminded me of, and in actual fact, Chris and I have just been talking about the logo of this church, because it is a combination of many different ways of life. If you look at the details of it, there's the Zen circle, there's the lotus position, there's the angelic figure. And again, it's a representation of bringing together different opinions, different ways of life, and different reflections on what the Great Spirit is. Now, although the character that was talking about his grandmother said, I don't think I'm happy with that, I'm happy with it in one way, not knowing. But what he said he was not happy is that he felt defeatist if he gave up trying to look. That's why I love spiritualism, and that's what I truly believe spiritualism and all the spiritualities that have kind of joined in along the way, is that we know we're never going to have all the answers, but it doesn't stop us looking. It doesn't stop us searching, and it doesn't stop us seeking. And we should never stop searching, seeking, trying, and proving. Those were the words of Emma Hardinge Britten, the giver of the principles of spiritualism. But I'll give them to you in another way, if you're interested. A bloke called Paul, who wrote a book, well, a load of letters that was made into a book about 2,000 years. He said, test the spirit. Now, there's a lot that he wrote that I've got beef with, and I will be having words with him when I get up there. But test the spirit is absolutely true. Because, my friends, that's what we come together to do every week, every workshop, every drumming, every service, every visiting medium that comes to us, every church that we go out and visit. We test the spirit. We seek evidence, we seek proof, we seek truth. And in so doing, we get closer to understanding some of what's going on. And so although we may never find the answer, the faith and courage in ever seeking is the truth that we find in spiritualism. To let ourselves off if we don't get it right. To let ourselves off if we don't find all the answers. But never let ourselves off the hook for continually searching, seeking, and proving the truth that resonates with each one of us, and that spark of the divine that resides within each one of us. So never stop seeking, never stop searching, and never give up. And always remember that we're on this journey together. So encourage, support, and guide, but also give each other the freedom of personal expression. Thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. I didn't fill my jug up, look. And there we go. So now, friends, is the time in our evening when we are going to test the spirits for the first time. Because rather than having the reading and then the philosophy following, for those that have never been before, that's a tradition in this way of life, that we would have a reading and someone would speak about the reading. But as Chris and I were talking about when we finish our demonstrations, spirit, no. So we endeavour to use the philosophy to prove spirit by seeing if there's any resonance between what is said and what is read. She's looking a bit worried tonight, so it might not be as close as we think, but there's always something. There truly is. So for tonight's reading, please welcome to the front, Eunice! Sporting a rather lovely badge, I will just point at. You know.
Right, good evening, everybody. Why, oh why, do we do some things that make people worry, like puppets on strings? To me, it seems so very unkind to worry these people, to play with their mind. Life can be a struggle, we know this is true, but just look around, take in the view, the ones that surround you, the ones that do care, just take in the magic. It really is there. To chat amongst friends is a good way to start. It will brighten your daytime. It will gladden your heart. Without even trying, the sun it will shine, for the light in our darkness comes through every time. So my words that I tell you are easy and true. Just think of tomorrow and always be you. For you are our tomorrow. Together we're strong. Just love one another and it will not go wrong. The beauty of love and the presence of life, the truth is all out there. It will help us to fight, to look after each other, to keep us all strong. For love is a great healer. It will never go wrong.
Well done. And of course, I remind those that don't know that that's not just a reading, that's also a writing from Eunice. So really, really well done. Thank you, Eunice. And I've got to say, I reckon that tied in nicely. I really, really do. And there's nodding heads around, so it's not just me wishful thinking either. Now is the time when I'm about to hand over for the first time this evening to Tony to lead us in healing. The healing is something that we provide every week. Once upon a time, it used to just be a couple of minutes sitting in the quiet and sending out our thoughts. But we can do better than that. So we now offer, as well as that opportunity, hands-on healing during the service. So Tony will explain it better and lead us all into it. But if you do wish to have some healing, stick your hand up at the time you're told to. When you're told to, because you'll have a tired arm if you stick it up while I'm talking. And keep it up until someone is either stood with you or told you that they'll be to you, because it's usually me, sit, press a button, come, because this bloke needs to be in charge. So please welcome to lead our healing, Tony. Don't keep patting your puppy on the...
Well, you can if you want. Oh dear. Right. At this time, as Nick said, it's time for a bit of healing. If you would mind, just for a few moments, send your healing thoughts to the following: Michelle, Rusty, Sarah, Teresa, Nugget again. Is Nugget ever going to get better? April, Jeffrey, Bex, Phoebe, Abby, Chloe, Arthur, Albert, Pat, Wendy, Neil, or is it now? Linda, Kathy and David, Roger and Sheila, and Pauline and Alan. And would you also please think of a good friend of mine, Mary, who had, we hope, life-saving surgery on Monday. And would you also please think of our, not here tonight, but one of our regulars, Julie, who, if you don't know, sadly lost her husband this week. And she just needs that extra bit of support. We have been in touch with her and been talking to her. So your healing thoughts would help, if you don't mind. Right now, if you would like some healing, please raise your hand. And those of you who are happy to give some healing, please go to where there's a hand raised. Go. I'll go back there. You go there. Barry's come in at just the right moment. Barry, can you go there?
And I'll come to the back.
You sure? Okay. So, Great Spirit, if you would mind, please just send your healing power down through our healers to those who've asked for that. And would you do it right now? Thank you. Thank you, healers. If you can just thank your guides and bring yourselves back. And as I say every week, thank you to those of you that asked for more than one reason.
Thank you to Tony, and thank you to all of our healers, and absolutely agree with Tony. Thank you to those who ask. It really is the first step to growth. And well timed, by the way, Barry. Well timed. Now is the part of our service when we are going to hand over to Chris. Should he come to you, please answer in a clear voice, yes, no, don't know. Don't feed the medium, he'll bite your hand off. And should we need to evacuate the building, there's an exit at the front, through the bar, through the kitchen, or behind the stage. Because apparently it's not there, or there, so I don't do that no more. And if we do need to evacuate, of course, those are the exits. Please do have a wonderful, uplifting evening. Do send your thoughts to the wonderful Chris and give him all your love, because that's just what we do. But enjoy your contact with Spirit. As I now say, I know he's got a few words to share with us before he gives us his demo, but please welcome Chris Jacobs.
There you go, sir. All wide in. Good evening, everybody.
Good.
Just of lately, I've been toying with the thought of the human soul, and I've been on a little journey with it, and I've been, talking to the spirit world about this thing that fundamentally is us. And so I was inspired by them to write something. So I had to write it all down because my tiny little feeble brain will not remember it at this moment in time. But I do believe it is tied in with what has been talked about tonight. The concept of the human soul's eternity is both profound, mysterious, and yet a sublime truth, rooted in the belief that our essence, our true self, expands far beyond the physical confines of this earthly life. The enduring soul is our most authentic nature and an unbroken thread that weaves through the tapestry of existence, connecting our past, our present, and our future, and the continuous journey of growth and evolution. So understanding that eternity of the soul is to embrace it, to recognize that life as we know it is but a single chapter in an endless saga that is called spiritual evolution. It challenges us to expand our perception beyond the temporal to the eternal, acknowledging that our actions, our thoughts, and even our experiences transcend time, echoing into the vastness of infinity. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of responsibility. If our souls are eternal, then too are the consequences of our choices. Every thought we entertain, every word we utter, and every action we take carries with it an energy that shapes our soul's journey, impacting not only the current existence, but also our future states of being. How then can we live in a way that honors the eternity of our souls? How do we align our earthly existence with the timeless essence that is our true nature? Well, first, we must recognize a deep, abiding awareness of our interconnectedness with all life. Recognizing the soul's eternity helps us to see that we are part of a grand divine tapestry, where each thread is essential to the whole. This awareness fosters compassion, empathy, and a profound sense of stewardship for the world around us. Second, we must embrace the principles of continuous spiritual growth. The journey of the soul is one of an eternal progress, an endless quest for wisdom and understanding, and to that enlightenment that we all seek. By dedicating ourselves to a lifelong learning and self-reflection, a personal development as we align with the soul's inherent drive towards expansion and evolution. Furthermore, living with an awareness of the soul's eternity compels us to prioritize what truly matters. It invites us to focus on cultivating the virtues such as love, kindness, patience, and forgiveness, knowing that these qualities endure and define the essence of who we are beyond this physical plane as well as on it. We also hold the power to influence the journey of our souls here and now through the choices we make every day. Each decision is an opportunity to sow seeds of light or darkness, to contribute to our soul's upliftment or to hinder its progress. By choosing to love over fear, unity over division, and forgiveness over resentment, we steer our souls to the higher realms of existence and closer to that divine source. So I was inspired by that, and to me that is so true, because I look at, you know, we as mediums and as spiritualists, we're always looking forward to the other world. We're looking forward to the spirit world and how and what we will do. We need to look here and now, because of your choices will shape the way we go forward. As it said before, it'll either help or it'll hinder. So be aware the responsibility that comes with being a spiritualist. You've made that choice. You've recognized that understanding. Now recognize the weight it places upon your shoulder. And journey forward in love and light. Because we can rectify our mistakes here. We don't have to wait until we pass from this earthly life. Thank you. Okay, enough rabbiting and get on to the main event. Right. As I've blended here with the spirit world, I know that I've got the love of a gentleman who wants to come forward. And this gentleman, I know that he would have passed with a cancerous condition, but he also tells me about how he was very unsteady on his feet, and there was this dizziness that was with him too. And I do believe I'm talking probably of a father, as I'm asking who it is here. And I know too that he was a gentleman. He was really gentle, as well as being a gentleman too. And I do feel that I want to say, as I say that, kind of like a gentleman of the land. So I think he had a lot to do with outside nature, love of all things natural. Okay. Does anybody understand this at the moment? I'm feeling right and there. Okay. Can I just work here for a moment? I was feeling I was coming to the back there, but please bear with me. All right. So you understand all of this, please, and the father connection. Yep. One's saying yes and one's going, all right. Please forgive me, I am deaf. So I know that here that this dizziness was more of a concern to him. Would that make sense? Because I do feel that he would have gone over more than once if he fell. And he said, I had the bruises to prove it. Would that make sense? Also, as I talk about that, I know there would be then concern with around the hip as well. Here, because I feel it really getting quite bad here. But I do feel I don't want to complain, he says. I don't want to complain. And that was the kind of man he was. I put up with it and carry on, the stiff upper lip and all of that, because he was from that era. Would you understand with it? And I know he had so much love and he was so gentle. And I do feel that he would help anything and everything here. Who used to bring home birds, injured birds, please? You would bring the birds. Okay, all right. Sorry then if I got that the relationship wrong, but I know that I'm holding a bird, and even the ones that we call feathered rats, the pigeons, you know, because he's now here. Oh, we've got to do something. We've got to do something here. I do feel too, as I say this with him, you would understand that his mind was starting to go, and I feel that the tiredness taking over me. Or okay, he said, I really tried to stay with you. I really tried very hard to keep you there, but please be aware I was there. I understood every word I listened to you, you know, even up the point when you said, it's okay, meaning I could go on. And I'm laughing because he was quite indignant. He said, I want to stay, you know, and, but he says, thank you for the love and the compassion that you brought to him. And I have to say too, for moistening his lips as well. I feel somebody would moisten his lips. Would that make sense? I do feel, because I've got this drying there too. And would you understand, was there machinery with that as well? Were the machines going or running? Because I keep hearing a hissing sound. You weren't really there. Okay. But he talks about these machines, so there must have been machines nearby, or something, because he says it's annoying. It's annoying. The hissing sound. Okay. Was he into tractors? Who loved the tractors? I think I've just jumped some. His grandson. See, they know, and you say no, but they know here because he's showing me the tractor here, and I do feel that. Did he actually learn to drive these tractors? Because I feel like I'm jumping from one to another. The grandson. I just feel also. Can we say? I also. Sorry. Okay. Well, they're kind of a miniature tractor, aren't they? But I know that I want to say steady on because I feel like we went over on two wheels here, and he was in and he was just like that, you know? So he was very much aware of this too. I also once had a dog that was called Rusty, or was rusty in colour. Just passed. That's okay. It's still there, you know. So, you know, they just says talking about the dog and the love of the dogs as well, because I know as I look here, we could name 50,000 of them here as we go back here. And I also feel I want chickens as well. Would I be feeling the chickens? Okay. And he says, my God, a bit vicious at times, these chickens. They used to chase him in the house, especially when he had the food there, you know, and I know that he would have been pecked a few times on the leg too. Know that here that you've been praying for love, you've been praying for help, and you've been praying for healing. And he says, we are here, we are assembled, and we are giving you that. You know, it is there, you know. And when I say that, who's been saying, oh God, please, no, no, no. We've been listening, but understand the progress that we all must make. Understand the progress we all have to go through. Okay? You know that better than most, he says. And he's just bending now and kissing you on the head here. I also want either mother or grandmother who was also absolutely stunning lady. Would you understand that? Okay, because she also comes here with this man and wants to be very, very close to you. And she says, I'm here, my darling, I'm here. You know, and she was a loving, loving lady. And she had a heart that was bigger than her actual frame. Would you understand that? To her as well. And, you know, she just says, we are here, darling, we are here. You understand that? I want a birthday as well, or a passing, please, June, July. And you would also stand a passing as well. That has to be there too in those months, all right? Because I know that I'm still remembered here with that. And who's wrapped in the arms of angels, please? Because I want to hear when I say this, I know I'm talking about a cemetery or something where there is an angel, a statue of an angel. When the casting of the sun casts its final rays, it puts a shadow over that grave, and it is in the arms of an angel. All right. So see, we know. You've been asking for proof lately. There's your proof. Accept it, and thank you for working with it. Okay. Can I come back to the lady who put her hand up here as well? You would understand Father in the spirit world, yes? And you would understand the cancerous condition he went through too. And then you would understand that it was not once but twice, please, as well. If it's not, it went from one place to the other. Okay, because I know I want two separate parts to that, please. And I know that with this man, sometimes he says I could be a little indignant, but, you know, on the whole, I try to be okay and trying to be level. Would that make sense to you? You know, because I get quite a sweet man, really, you know, but he would, I just feel that you love to stand on their soapbox, please. Keep showing me the soapbox. I want to get my voice out there. Yeah. Great, because he's just put the soapbox there. I need to say it. And, you know, he wouldn't, I just felt, he shows me here, I wouldn't hold any punches. I'd have to say what I wanted to say, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. But then when I'm finished, I don't hold anything against it. It's done with, over and done with, and we can move on here. You know, I know he's thanking you for helping him in his final days. Would you understand that? He wants to thank you for that closeness that you brought to him and that comfort. You know, who was the one that kept stroking his head? Okay, because he says, I could feel this stroking on my head here. He said it was soothing, But then, okay, right, stop now, you know, as well. Yeah, I just feel here. Was his hair receding here? Because I just heard, he said, you're rubbing my hair out. Okay, it was all right. Well, you can understand the ethos behind that, because he just says, you're taking my hairs out here by rubbing them out. But he had a good sense of humour. You know, and it was a natural sense of humor, you know, and he was a natural guy, you know. He really was somebody that was, he said, I did try to keep everybody equal. I did try to keep things equal, you know, and I know he wouldn't be drawn into things unless he absolutely firmly believed in that. I stood back, he said. I stood back. Who loves their Cadbury's cream eggs, the little ones, please? Okay, because I'm just hearing, don't you think we better steady down on those? It's like I'm popping them one after the other, you know, but I know he loved his chocolate as well. And so I just want to say there's the kettle corn, the pot black, all right? Because he talks about you and your sister, him and your sister being quite similar in a lot of their ways, you know, very, where he says you're a little bit more like mother. You know, and I'm saying that in a good way, you know, all right. But I know that he talked about being reunited with everybody in the spirit world where he wanted to be. Would that make sense to you as well? Okay. Who was like old Mother Goose? Old Mother Goose. I know I'm looking for a lady who would have been very much like an old Mother Goose. I'm here, that she would gather everybody in. I want to talk about grandmother. Would you understand that? I don't mind. I just know that she could gather everybody here. But I know that she would have had the most fantastic collection of linen towels, because she just piles these linen towels up in front of me. Okay, because I don't feel it's a great grandmother. I'm sticking with the grandmother, so that will be the nana. All right, but I know she would have collected these linen towels, and I know she had a penchant for the French linen towels. So if you could check that, please, check that out. And I know that she was a dab hand at making things, sewing. Sorry. Okay, but I know she was doing that. These sewing. Did you just say rag rugs? Sorry, because I was going to say that the next thing, so I just felt like I was doing this. But I know that as I'm you know, there was a method to it. It wasn't just any rag, and it wasn't in just any style. And when I stand back And I'm thinking, my God, that's one hell of a car wash. Would you understand that? They were absolutely wonderful. Anybody would have loved to have owned one of those things, because she spent her time on it. She loved that too. And also, just before I leave here, I want to say a love of treacle toffee as well, please. Absolutely love it. I feel like my jaws are now clamped together forever. Yeah, right. Because when it was made, it was homemade. My God, it was strong, and it really like that. And I wanted, and being talked about the false teeth that we had to be prized off afterwards, because they just literally were stuck there. All right, so you know, they just wanted to bring these memories and this love to you. You know. Oh, who loved their Bristol cream, Sherry? Oh, gosh, that really warms the heart, doesn't it? I know she would have not a small one, it would be a schooner. Would you understand that? A good schooner. And she said, warmed you up, warmed you up. So I'll leave you with that Bristol cream. Thank you very much for working with me. God bless you. Okay. Not sure who we're going to hear, but I felt like, first of all, I wanted to talk about a young lady, but then it went to a young man. So I do feel with this young man that he passed fairly young, still in the prime of his life. So I'm thinking roughly around 20s, 30s, but I may have got that slightly off. I do feel as though I'm talking about here. Yeah, when I said I wanted a young lady, I thought, it's because he dressed as a young lady. He came forward and dressed as a young lady. And I know that he was this kind of, he could be quite flamboyant, but very loving with that. I know that he had a heart of gold as he comes forward. And I just feel as I want to say, I can't do it, my knees won't allow me. When I want to dance along here and just go, I'm here, and do all of this. To anybody. Am I here or someone? No. Okay. I wasn't sure whether it's there or there. Are you all connected or something?
No, the one with the same one. Go with that young lady.
Okay. Well, you would understand him dressing up as in women's thing and being very flamboyant, you know. And he says, I was quite loud. You would understand that. I was quite loud. And he said, I learned to be proud of myself because I know that he suffered a lot. Would you understand that? With how he felt about himself, how the world saw him, you know? And I know when he said, I tried to be proud, I know he was kidding me. He was trying to believe it. Would you understand that? But deep down, it was that, you know, he said, if I could have just forgot the others, would you understand that too? When he says that, when I could have forgotten those others that weren't kind to him. Because I know there are these people over here, he doesn't even want to mention them. Oh, all right. I really feel I should be wearing, high heels. Did he wear high heels as well? On occasion. Because I've got this, God, I think I must look hideous, but he wants me in high heels and my hair really up. Would you understand that too? And I know that he would do that as an entertainment value to people because he wanted to make people laugh. He wanted to make you laugh. He wanted to make you all laugh here. But his demise was quite sad, though, he said. It was quite a sad state of affairs, you know, without going that. And I know that people still grieve for him and that he's still remembered. And in fact, you should have been talking about him not too long ago. You know, the last couple of weeks. He said, not that I was being nosy, but I was earwigging. Okay. And I know that he has so much love for you here. And would you understand, was this relationship, did it go back quite a while? Because I just feel like really this was quite a long relationship, you know? And can I come to you there? Would you understand? You saw the type of person he was going to be from a young boy. Would you that? But you loved him all the same, as did the rest of the family, you know. And I just know that he wants to thank those that encouraged him, that supported him, that helped him. And he said, but I could never help myself here. And that was his issue, and that was his problem. But he just wanted to bring that beautiful, beautiful smile forward. Okay. Was he good at singing as well? Because he just broke into a song here. I just know that I want to lighten everybody's life to there too. And I also want to talk about August, please. Is there something coming up this August? Because he says, I'm aware. Would that make sense to you? It's all right, you can say no. All right, I don't like it, but we can say no. All right. I feel that, can we talk about, then there's memories of August, please. There is memories that are in August. Okay, can I take that back a bit? Was he wanting to go either on to further education or some sort of learning? Yeah, sorry. It was retraining. Was this around August? I know that August was vital to him. Can you check that, please? Will you check that? Because I know that I want August, but I also want the passing in August as well, please. Not his. Sorry? Not his. I just said not his. I just said I wanted a passing in August, but not his. All right? But will you accept this young man's love, please? And I just feel he was such a joyous person to be around, that when he was being silly, stupid, and awful, you could not help but laugh at him. You didn't, and if you got annoyed, it lasted very short time, you know, because he just had a way of bringing that around to you. Just before I leave, I daren't have a drink because I know it's whiskey, but who would love their whiskey, please? You would understand a gentleman that would have loved his whiskey, please? Okay, I'm not a drinker, but I know that I want. Is there one called McKay or Mackay, something along that line? Sorry. Okay, but I know I want that brand. All right, with that, and I'm looking at grandfather there, please. I don't think he was an alcoholic by any stretch of the mind, but he liked to drink this little sip of whiskey. Father-in-law. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm off. A little brain's going a little haywire. I'm going to blame the painkillers. All right. But you had done some of that brand. I just wanted that reconnection there too. All right. Keep strong, I hear. Keep strong. I know that the love of this young man is in wrapping it all the way around the whole family too. Before I leave you here, I want rabbits, please. Rabbits. Okay. Would you understand somebody in the spirit world not really liking rabbits and saying, I hope they're for the pot? You know, because I keep hearing filthy little creatures. You know, who can say that about a fluffy bunny? But I know that they wouldn't have liked that too. Okay. Have you been missing the duties of cleaning them out? Have you been stretching that out? All right. They're starting to smell, I believe. So will you get on with that? So thank you very much for working with me, and God bless you. Isn't it funny how spirit noticed these things? Okay. I know that I've got a love of a lady coming forward here, and I do feel I want Mum. And with Mum, I do feel that this was she was a lovely lady, very small, but I feel almost a little stout, but I do know that she had an awful big voice and an awful big presence as she communicates here. And she just, I know that she too was, she says towards the end part of her life here, I know that there was something to do with the mind or the brain, and I'm thinking it was something like dementia or something along, or Alzheimer's or whatever along those lines there, because I'm just forgetting who I am and where I'm at. All right, and also I know that I want to talk about not always seeing correctly, seeing. So I'm going to say I don't think she always recognized who she was. Am I on that back row again? Sorry? Stroke. Is without the kind of same symptoms? Those symptoms here? I don't know, but I know that the mind, she could still recognize, but it was just the odd occasion. Would you understand that? All right. I know whatever happened, it affected the back of her head, she said. The back of her head. And then it felt as though she gives me the sensation that I can't lay down my head as I'm lying there. That even it was so sensitive. Would you understand that? Would that be correct? Oh. Okay, I have to go with her because she's talking about this sensitivity that, you know, she could feel these things. Okay, so I have to go with that. So even though she might have been out, there was still some sort of awareness there. Okay, because I know there must have been a few of you all around her at that time. Would you understand that? Because she talks about listening to all of you, hearing all of you. All right, not just one. And I have to say, I daren't say no to her, you know, because she's really, when she's on a mission, she was on a mission. Would that make sense to you? I've got this right. I know this is right. Okay. And you know, with her, she was a very active lady, wouldn't you? It was all of this active, and I just think she lived life certainly in the fast lane. There was no time to be slow. There was no time to be ill. And I know that this lady, even when she felt like she was dying, she still got up, and I still did it. I still did it. I still had to see to everybody and children as well. Okay. And, you know, so when this came, this was kind of like a total reversal. Total. And it you know, but she wanted to just come here this evening and say, I was still aware. I was still aware. I know, I heard the voices, I heard the words. Thank you, you know, because she'd given so much, and I know she didn't accept anything back, because that's the type of person she was. Did she love her Murray mints as well, please? Did she love her Murray mints? Because she just showed me a big pack of Murray mints here, and I'm not going to share, she says. All right, the mine. Okay, so I know she would have loved that. And I do feel like I'm popping one after the other sometimes. You know, I do. I'm making sure that I get them all in there too. Okay. Do you understand? Did somebody keep some of her clothing, please? She talked about some of the clothing being kept and it being altered into something else. Would that make sense to you? Can you check that? Because I just feel as though there was something, just something, and it was altered. Wait a minute. You turned a cardie or a jumper into a pillow. Have I jumped to you? Made it into a pillow, but you could still see what it was. Sorry, they're interconnecting here. Okay, you're not from the same family, are you? All right, just checking. Oh, okay. With this, I know that this cardigan or this jumper still feels like it's around. Is that correct? It's still there. I know that I still want it, and I know that this was a great source of comfort to somebody, please, because I could still smell them. And I'm there, I'm sniffing. I want to sneeze because all the fibers are going up my nose, but I know that I want to smell it and, you know, get that sense. And when I cuddle that pillow, I know that I feel so close to them. I feel so close to them. Who used to, I don't know whether I'm with you now or over here, but I know that I want to be there. that I want to talk about a gentleman that would have loved to collect badges, and that I will feel like I want them on a stick as well, please. Okay, and I know there would be several as I go there, and I down, yeah, okay. And he took very much care, very intricate care in placing these here, and each one had intrinsic value to him. There was so many, and I feel like I'm ranking them in order of my feelings and what they meant to me here. Would you understand a desire to hike or walk in the Alps, but mountains? Okay, all right. Because I know I've got this thing, and also I should have as well. They should have a memory here of one of those heads on a tube of sweeties that you flick back, and a little thing come up as well, right? Because I just feel that wanting to pop those little feels like a little refresher. Yes, okay, and I know that because as I link with that, I know that I want to say you had hours of fun with that. Would you remember that you used to talk to it and play with it like it was a little person? Okay, and I also want to talk about the gerbils or the hamsters as well, please. All right, the escapees, as we call them, because they show me them escaping out here. Who got one in the bed and had the most awful scare? All right, because they're just showing me here that there's something in the bed, pounce, and then we hear this squeal, and it's one of these little fur babies, shall we say. All right, so they know I want all these beautiful memories there too, and I want to talk about Alfred as well. I think I'll come back to you, would you? Okay, give me a little leeway. I thought it was Alfred. All right. And I just feel as though this loving man, would you understand? A loving man, but a strong personality. Okay. And I wouldn't like to cross him on a bad day, But other than that, he was a loving man, And I know he just wanted to make that connection with you as well. Who played the piano, please? I just feel as though I want to play. I can play it off key, but I can play it in key as well. And I just feel that there was something accomplished by that, And I want to say that this was by ear, most of it. It was by ear. I don't need sheet music. I know that she could play it here. And even when it was out of key, she could still make it sound good, still make it sound good. And she was very accomplished at that too. I know that she had a regret that she didn't get to make a cake for somebody. Would you understand that? There's a regret that I didn't live long enough to do this cake. No? Okay. I don't like getting muddled up. I hate it. Okay, all right. But would you understand then? Because I'm still hearing cake, so I don't know whether I drop back to you. But I do know that there was be a miss. Okay, but there was also be a mishap, a memory of a mishap with a cake. That'll be it. Thank you. All right. So I just, sorry, they just sometimes have this dual link and they come here. Before I leave you here, I do want to say, you've been seeing a lot lately because I keep seeing the orbs around you. So I know that I just seeing things here and feeling an awful lot lately. Okay. Because I know the spirit world is saying, be careful what you ask for, because here we are. This is what we're doing. You've asked for it, and here it is. Okay, so I'll leave you with their love and the other one. Thank you very much for working. Sorry? Okay, I've got a gentleman who really would have loved his bitter. Would you understand that? Either one of you? I've got really, it's a pint of bitter. I don't know what make, but it's just a bitter. Sorry, he wouldn't. Okay, but I just know I love the bitter, and I know that I don't want a big head on it either. It's a small, very thin head here, and I know as I drink that, I had a good appreciation of it. I didn't gulp it. I appreciated every sip of it, you know. And would it be correct that he was quite a gentleman as well, please? He was a gentleman, and the most wonderful smile that they say, because he just says, I'm flashing those teeth. All right. So God bless you, and thank you for working with me. And I hope this is water.
If it's not, blame them.
Okay. All right. Okay, got a lovely man that comes forward here, and I know as I come, I can smell engine oil. I can smell oil of, you know, it just smell like an engine oil. You know, it's one of those, right? Okay, just stay over there. And yet I know there would be a love of either lorries or things of a mechanical nature, and I know that towards the end of his life, he didn't get to do all of that. But he was quite a happy man. I know that too. Also, he takes me to the heart here. So there would have been issues with the heart. I know it's talk about there are things that people not live.
No.
No, that's right. That's correct. Okay. I feel that time of year is connected to
Okay.
So if you can go and check that.
Oh,
Okay, because I was about that. And the thing with this twin is, you felt that it was hold it, but it just didn't live there. All right, I got to hold them, but it just didn't do what it meant. Okay, you know, and the heartbreak that brought on the family was tremendous. Okay, but you know, I know there's a lot of sisters. I know, and you've got to be okay. He's talking about his feet. He had to have something with his shoes, his feet, and his shoes. We understand what has to do. His shoes, because I've got a huge bunion inside of the foot. Can I say here too, that you have to know that if other sometimes did his own self-diagnosis and own self-help, they'd rather than go somewhere. Because he's got a bunion and he's got a fat one of those huge resting miles. He's like, yeah, I'll sort it, you know. And then I think he's got more harm than good in most cases. You know, but that would mean you know to have a go. Because if you literally want to have a go. Problem with electricals, we're causing it from where? Because I do need to talk about just going back to your parents. I'm not going back. I just feel as though that's necessary. With the court. Sorry, mouth. All right. I just feel I want to go back to a childhood, please, a childhood memory. I want to talk about an electric blanket that was on an old metal frame bed. And as I know, as the child, we must have spilt water on it as well, because I just want to say there was another fire. There was something else. Right, okay, I'll have that one. I'll have that, because I knew they were talking about another one as well, and they would say we've got to be careful in our family about fires. Would you understand that? We really have got to be careful. Okay, I know that as I link with you here, I want to bring Mum forward here. Would you understand, Mum, the love of Mum? And these memories that she has here, and she had a wealth of memories. Would you understand that? And the stories she could tell. And she had a way that was quite linguistic. Would you understand that? They just floated from her mouth and off her tongue. And she says, sometimes I could add little bits in. You'd never know the difference. All right, you'd never know the difference. You wouldn't even hint at a change on that. But she was a beautiful lady and a beautiful nature. Because I want this beautiful. Would you? That makes sense to you. Really baffled at the end. She's like, I'm taking wages with death itself. You know, I'm trying to get to 9 o'clock. Yeah, and that would be very nice, but I want to get to 9 o'clock before you take me. Okay. She said, you and I have to do it. You don't know that she is there. We also understand the ring that had to be altered to be fitted to fit. Oh, yes, I think it was also. Sorry, I thought it was altered to make it fit. Okay. But then it had a lot of sentimental value. And there are still things you must have a bit more on this that you can't get those. Okay. Just before we leave, the mum had a lovely, just simple, she didn't need one of the big expensive gestures because then they're nothing to her. But she loved the brooch, or something like a little brooch that was bought, and I also did second hand. It was just costume jewelry. She loved it to death. That meant more to her because it was sentimental than anything else. So you take a look and enjoy it. Thank you very much. Thank you, God. So thank you, everyone.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, there we go. Friends, thank you for a wonderful demonstration to the wonderful Chris Jacobs. Such evidential, such uplifting proof of survival there. So please give another big round to Chris Jacobs. And I do apologize to everyone at home. You missed out on some good evidence because of the microphone problem, but it seems to be back up and running now. And thank you for letting me come around the front and just have a readjust. Well, friends, a reminder that next week is Michael Gooch. Look forward very much to that. Sunday, 10:30, 3:30, £15 including lunch, workshop on working with energies. And then the following week, it is, of course, the White Feather Drum Healing Circle, same room over there. And it is, of course, from 10 till 1. That's the last time it's ever going to be right, I'm sure. Again, thank you all for coming out and supporting this wonderful, wonderful gathering of souls. It is a pleasure to see you all each week. Thank you to Yvonne for the cake. There's still some out there. I did know some left. Don't miss out. And of course, after the service, do stay behind for tea. It's very, very nice. Nice and moist and got cream. It is cream on the top, isn't it? Cream. Oh, cream cheese. Absolutely. I will. And in actual fact, one of the advantages of being the chair is that I can make sure the medium does get first dibs. So there you go. You can make sure you get one now. There you go. There you go. See, that's the advantage of being able to do that. There you go. Because that will all go quick. But do help yourselves, and there will, of course, tea and coffee. Thank you for bringing in some more decaf coffee. And the tea will be topped up next week. There's decaf tea and coffee. There's also tea. Put it proper coffee. In there. Friends, once again, thank you. Let's close this evening in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, divine, universal source of all creation, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends under a banner of love and friendship. Let us take with us continuity of life. Let us take with us that message out into the world. And in times of difficulty and in trouble, until we meet again, in your name, amen. And of course, don't forget to get your raffle tickets ready because it is prize winning time. We are going to say thank you to your patience and say good night to everyone. See, you know, everyone at home can see that he wasn't waiting for the coffee. But one big last round of applause and thank you to Mediumship Christian. As unfamiliar and familiar faces actually meet, we're going to say good to all of us here, to all of you there, after 3, 1,